Spirit that we walk in, dwell in, so that we're never absent from your presence. Thank you, God, for speaking to my heart and to my mind. Asking now, God, that as I speak to your people, that you will speak through me, that we might be encouraged on this journey, that we might find strength to fight this battle that we are in. Help us now in the name of Jesus, that the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart, be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. In Jesus' name, amen. 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 We honor the presence of God. We honor the Lord Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit. We honor our friend, Pastor Morgan. Amen. It's always good to see him. As a pastor, I understand sometimes you just want to sit in the audience and look the preacher in the face. Amen. So I honor him on this day. I thank God for his friendship and the fellowship that we have began to share with each other. Amen. I thank God for Mount Olive and that first song that they sung. Amen. Because when I wake up in the morning, it's all right when I'm there. I wake up in the morning now. I'm still here. Amen. Just one more day, I'm still here. Thank God. Thank God that I'm still here. When I look around and hear about my classmates, passing and going on, I'm still here. I thank God that I'm still here. So thank you for that selection. I thank God for that. Young people, you'll understand better when you get older. Amen. I remember Granddaddy telling me all the time, the old brown cow ain't old what it used to be. I ain't know what he was talking about. Granddaddy didn't have no cows. And then I came to realize he was talking about life. As you get older, feet get shorter, eyes get dimmer, ears get dull. Amen. Things just start to fade. Your hair turned gray. A couple weeks ago, I dyed my hair back black, and I had it cut yesterday and looked in the mirror. There again. So, time is creeping up on us. Amen. There is a word that the Lord has given me to encourage your hearts on today. And if you will, I'd like you to read that along with me. Amen. Amen. Let's read.
There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. Also make a way to escape. You may be able to bear it.
Amen. Amen. I want to look at that B portion. But God is faithful. But God is faithful. I want to talk from the subject. You're not alone.
All right.
You can depend on God. If you're not alone, you can depend on God. As I looked at this passage and considered this passage this morning, I was reminded that we, as children of God, are often confronted with temptations. And no matter how long we've been in God, no matter how old you are, in fact, no matter how young you are tempted to do things that you want to do, but you know that's not good for you. Can I go as far as maybe a 2-year-old child? When you tell a child not to do a certain thing, they're tempted to do it anyway. I can remember telling Alex one time not to touch the curling irons because they were hot. But he was tempted and touched it anyway. And it was burnt, but I bet you now he won't touch them. No more. Sometimes we go through things, through temptations where we touch and we find out that we should not, and it keeps us from touching again. So I came to understand that we struggle with this thing called temptation, but the issue is a lot of people think that temptation is wrong. And they begin to beat themselves up because they have temptation. So what is temptation? Temptation is a desire to do something that is wrong or not good for you. That's what it is. It's a desire, it's a itching, it's a inkling, it's something that pulls you towards something, and you know that you should not do it, but it's is there. And many times we beat ourselves up because it's there. We ask God to deliver me from this, but God explained to us or tried to get us to understand in the words that all of us will have temptations in life. In fact, the text says that there has been no temptation taken by you that is not common to man. In other words, all of us have been tempted in some way or another. It is a desire. And when I think about that, I think about Jesus when he was led in the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. Now, the purpose of Jesus being led in the wilderness to be tempted of the devil is because Jesus had to experience everything that we experience so that he can take it on the cross and defeat it there. Now, pray with us a little while. I'm not going to be long. I'm not going to be long. So therefore, when Jesus was in the garden, he was being tempted by the enemy. The Bible says that he had fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. He had not eaten anything for 40 days and 40 nights. And Satan came to him and said, if thou be the Son of God, command this stone be made bread. Jesus was hungry. Now, I wonder if we had the power and we could make stones be bread, how many of us would keep our money in our pocket and just go outside and pick up the stones and make bread?
That's right.
You see, the purpose of Satan tempting Jesus in that way was that he wanted Jesus to change that in which God had made it for the purpose. See, God had made that stone to be a stone and not bread. Now, pray a little while. There are some things that we change that we should not have changed. Man, I thought about it and I heard the theologian say that the reason why we don't live as long as they did in the Bible days is because we changed things.
Yes, we did.
We took water, we made lemonade and
That's right.
tea and
That's right.
Kool-Aid.
Yes.
We took chicken and stopped baking and stopped frying. Y'all brilliant. We took a potato that was plain and put butter and sour cream, and now they got what you call a loaded potato. It's mainly because we changed that which God designed it to be, that our lives have been cut. So, it tastes good now. Oh yeah. Sometimes when I'm in the restaurant, they ask for a baked potato. They say, "You want it loaded?" I'm tempted. But then I remember what that theologian said, that we change things from which God created it to be. So Satan was trying to get Jesus to change things. And many times he tried to get us to change stuff that don't need to be changed. Anything that goes against the purpose in which God has created becomes sin. And that's what Satan was trying to do with Jesus. So it was a desire. He knew that Jesus had a desire to eat. So therefore he attacks us on our desires. He does not attack us on things that we do not desire to do, but rather he attacks us on our desires. A lot of people think that adultery and drinking and cussing and stealing and that's the 4 big sins. You can't do them, but I got news for you. There's no big sin.
Amen.
Because the Bible says all unrighteousness is sin, not little sin. And I might as well tell you, there's no little lie, no black lie, no white lie. All liars shall have their part.
That's right.
Oh my God, my God, my God. So he tempts us in a way that we are familiar with. He tempts us in things that we desire. Men,
Come on, Red.
have you ever been out somewhere and, if you like me, you can't see it no more. You just find a woman walk by, you holler, Now, women are a little more subtle. They'll look, but they won't say that. Am I right about it? He attacks us in desire. Then the mind says, look at her homes right there. He attacks us in our desires. So we have temptation. But James says have joy, be joyful whenever you fall into diverse temptations. Count it all joy. Why? Because when you fall to temptations, it means that you're on a place where Satan don't want you to be. It means that God is about to do something in your life, and he's trying to move you from where God is going to bless you. So therefore, he tempts us. And I want you to understand that God does not tempt us. And when you look at this passage, and the closing of the passage, we picked up this saying, God don't put more on you than you can bear. I believe that's where we get this from, but God don't put nothing on you.
That's right.
God is the one that takes it off you. But what happens is that God permits Satan to do things. Ask Job. Job will tell you, I was doing all right till I had an encounter with Satan. So my brothers and sisters, don't worry about the temptation. Just don't yield. But then if you give in, I heard Paul say, but if we sin, we have an advocate, which is Christ Jesus. But notice, if you will, what the text says. The text says, you're not given any temptation that is not common to man. In other words, you've been through what I've been through, and I'm going through what you've been. I've been tempted the same way that you've been tempted. But then it says, but God. I don't know about you, but whenever I hear but God, I know that there's hope for me. But God is faithful. I don't know about you, but I serve a God who is faithful. In other words, you can trust God. You can tell God anything. You can tell God about your temptations. And God will, what the word said, give you a way of escape. I don't know about you, there have been times in my life that I was thinking about doing something. But when it come down to getting ready to do that thing that I was thinking about, I changed my mind. God give me a way of escape. Am I right about it? Before I got married, before I got married, there were a whole lot of ladies who used to like me. They probably still do, but that's my only one right there now. And there were times when I was paying up to meet with one of them, and just about the time came, I called and said, my daughter's coming over, I can't meet. There was a way, God gives a way of escape. So don't worry when temptations come, because God gives a way of escape. He gives us a way out of every situation. You don't have to fall, but if you fall, just get back up. He says he gives us a way of escape, and that he won't make the temptation too much for us to handle. God allows Satan to tempt us in order to build our character. If we have no temptations, God cannot build our Christian character. There'll be times when you might fall, but get back up. Because what happens is that you might fall. Once you fall too many times, you're going to learn how to stand up. Just like a child learns to ride a bike. They might fall, but they get back up and they ride that bike. They fall again and they get back up and they ride that bike. Before you know it, they have become a perfect rider of the bike. Just like that in life. Sometimes you might fall, but you get back up. Why? Because Jesus have died on Calvary. Why? Because Jesus has taken our sins away. Why? Because Jesus has given us the power and the strength that we might be able to stand, and we might be able to bear what comes before us. I don't know about you, but I thank God for Jesus Christ. I thank God that He gives me the strength to bear everything that comes my way. He gives me the strength to say no, even when I want to say yes. He gives me the strength to walk away when I want to walk in. He gives me the strength. So therefore, don't fret the temptations of life, because you're not by yourself. We are our Heavenly Father's children, and He loves us one and all. Yet there are times when we're called and answered. to some other call. But if you're willing, he will teach you how to obey. He promised. He promised. He promised never to leave you, never to leave you alone. I thank God that he walked with me and he talked with me. He tells me I'm his own. I thank God. That I'm not in this by myself. You're not in it by yourself. But God is in it with you. Paul says, God proved his love while we were yet sinners. You know, while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. But God commended his spirit, his love towards us while we were yet sinners. But God is something else. I messed up, but God. I got dirty, but God cleaned me up. He washed me in the blood of the Lamb. Don't fret the temptations of life. Just don't give in. You're not the temptation. The yielding is sin. These victories will help you. Some others to win. Fight manfully onward. Kind-hearted and true. Look ever to Jesus. And he'll see you through. Amen.